Hello, and welcome to a word of hope for Saturday, September 6th, Saturday in the 22nd week of Ordinary Time. My name is Father Jordan DeGuire, and I'm here in the chapel of St. Catherine of Siena House in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Every community has rules. They can be formal, like when the laws of a country get written down and there are ways to enforce them. They can be informal, like when a family, every member has certain chores that they always do. I teach college students, and so while I never assign seats in the classroom, by the third or fourth class session, everyone has found their seat. And you better believe they're going to be upset if someone else comes and sits in their seat. Every community has rules in one way or another. And at the same time, we would never mistake keeping the rules as the fullness of what it means to be that community, right? A group of people aren't a family just because they happen to do chores. But those rules, those guidelines, those customs, it sets the foundation. It makes possible the kind of relationship that the community shares. So too, in the church, in our spiritual lives, in our relationship with God and with each other, we need rules. We need definite patterns and ways of relating. It can't just be guessing all the time. But sometimes I think we can slip into thinking that it is just the rules that matter, that keeping the rules is the fullness of this relationship. This seems to be the issue that Jesus is getting into with the Pharisees in our gospel today. His disciples are going through the field, picking the grains of wheat and eating them. And the Pharisees say, this isn't lawful. It's the Sabbath. You should be resting. And sometimes, right, we hear this dispute get characterized as the Pharisees are sort of legalistic, they're small-minded. Jesus says the rules don't really matter. Don't sweat the small stuff. But it's not really accurate to how he responds to them. Right? He doesn't say the Sabbath isn't a big deal. Don't worry about it too much. No, he says the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath. What's he doing? What's he saying? For the people of Israel, the Sabbath is what identifies them as the people of God, or it helps to identify them, that they're the people whom God has invited to enter into his rest. And so keeping the Sabbath, resting on the Sabbath, is a way of living out and expressing that identity, that relationship with God. It's greatly important, but it's all for the sake of the relationship. The temptation is to focus on the rule, to make it about keeping the rule, or even to try to manipulate God. Look, I'm keeping the rule. Do what I want now. So Jesus calls the Pharisees back to the relationship that gives sense to the rule. The Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath. In Jesus Christ and in his church, God has invited us into a new community, a new way of relating with him and with each other. And so today, how is God calling you to more greatly, more fully receive that identity? How is he calling you to more greatly, more fully live it out?